Okay, today I'm going to be showing you how to make little itty bitty diapers. We don't have anything like these in our share kits, and so I was really excited when one of our share moms posted a link on her Facebook page today to the pattern for these diapers. So thank you, Carrie. They're super simple to make. I just made mine out of scraps from the kimono gowns that I showed in the last tutorial, and they come together really quick. If you visit our website, utahshare.org, we'll link you up to the pattern, which came from another mom who lost a baby, and she put these together and has the pattern just available for free, and so we'll link you up to her website to get the patterns. You'll just print them out. She has them in 2 sizes, but you can adjust, with your printer settings, you can change that so that you have sizes in between the itty bitty and then the bigger one. So should be able to fit, and really they're adjustable. You can kind of tighten them and loosen them a little bit as you need to and pin them that way, so they should fit a pretty wide variety of babies. So you'll start by printing out your pattern and getting it cut out. I like to trace mine onto, just have some floral paper that I like to trace my patterns onto. It makes them easy to store, and I can reuse them easily that way. Once your pattern is cut out, you're going to take your fabric, after you've cut out your pattern and then cut out your fabric, which I've just used scraps for mine, I mentioned, and doesn't take a whole lot of fabric. You'll need to cut 2 pieces and then place them right sides together. Megan, who got the pattern put together for us, stresses that this needs to have a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So make sure that you are measuring before you start sewing so that you've got that seam allowance. Otherwise, your sizes are going to be off a little bit. So I've figured out how to do that on my machine just really quick. I know right where my settings are. You might have to kind of play around just a little bit in order to do that. Now the very first one that I made, when you sew these together, you're going to need to leave a little space that you don't sew so that you can flip the diaper right side out. The very first one that I made the mistake of leaving the open space on one of the corners, and that made it really difficult to sew after I flipped it right side out to finish off that edge. So make sure that you leave your space kind of in the center somewhere. It doesn't have to be right smack in the middle, but just so that you're not on a corner. That was a mess up that I made, and I was able to fix it, but it just makes it a lot easier if you don't have to do that. So you're just going to quickly do a 1/4 inch seam allowance, go around the whole diaper except for that little section, maybe 1.5 to 2 inches, just enough to give you room to flip that diaper out, right side out. You'll just do a quick go around the edge, sew it together. Now I will say that going around a round edge is a little bit difficult. Just go really slow, take your time, make sure that you keep your seam allowance as even as you possibly can. Don't feel bad if you have to go super slow around the edges, because I often do as well. Okay, once you've gone around the edges, I like to trim all my strings at this point. You don't have to. To me, it just is cleaner and looks better. So, okay, the next thing that Megan asks us to do is to trim the edge. You don't want to go all the way down to the seam where you've sewn, or else it will unstitch very easily. Just take your scissors. The reason that you're doing this is to cut down on the bulk inside of the diaper. So I just kind of take maybe about halfway in between the edge of the fabric and where you sewed, and you're just going to cut all the way around the edge to eliminate some of the bulk inside of the diaper. When you get to the part that you left open, you'll see right here is where I left my hole so that I can flip the diaper right side out. Do not trim that section of the fabric. You're going to need that to close that edge. Okay, once you've got everything trimmed, you're going to flip your diaper right side out. My hole's maybe just a tiny bit little. One thing I didn't mention is that if you feel like you might forget to leave that open, you can stick a pin in it. I went just a little bit too far because I wasn't paying attention to where I was sewing, and nearly closed it up. So when you're making that initial run around the edge, if you want to put a pin where you're going to leave it open, just to remind you not to sew through that part. Something I forgot to do here, but oftentimes I'll just take on this corner that's straight on the less wide end of the diaper. Sometimes I will just take and even clip that little corner just across so that it's a little bit less bulky there too. You don't have to do that, but I do that on all of my blankets and everything, and it just gives a little bit sharper edge. So, okay, once you have that flipped, it's a little bit fluffy and icky. You're gonna just wanna take it to your iron, quickly press around the edges. And on the section that you left open, you're going to want to fold the ends of your fabric. So you can kind of see right here, they almost fold down naturally, but if they don't, you'll just want to tuck those in so that when you iron, it's like they're hemmed and laying down on the inside. That will make it so that you can't even tell where that open edge is going to be, and you're going to sew right over the top of that when you're done. So quickly press, and then we'll go to the final step. Okay, once you have that pressed, you can see you can't really even tell where that open edge is. On mine, it's right here. You've pressed that edge right down inside, and now you're ready to go on to the final step. We just need to run a little stitch around the edge. That'll just kind of give it a finished look, as well as close that little bit of opening right there. You'll want to make sure that your needle is, if you get too close, or if you get too far in, like if I were to sew clear down here with my stitch, I would miss the edges of this and it would stay open. I would still have a hole there. So you're going to want to get close enough to the edge that you make sure to catch that little bit of fabric without going off the edge, obviously. So you'll just go all the way around the entire diaper doing this. Okay, once you get to the edge, you're just going to want to clip all of your threads. Make sure that your opening is no longer an opening. So looks like I was able to catch the edge of my fabric inside. I don't have a hole there anymore. You can go and press that one more time if you feel like you need to. Otherwise, you're ready to just get your safety pin. Whatever size of pin is most appropriate for the diaper, you'll be able to tell based on the size. You can get, I'm just going to use a regular safety pin right now. I know that there are decorative pins out there. You can get actual diaper pins. They may be a little bit large for, particularly for the small diaper. They might work for the large diaper, but even in scrapbooking sections, scrapbooking embellishments, I've seen diaper pins. If you want to do something that's a little bit more, usually they have a colored end or whatever, but just a regular safety pin will work if you need to. You'll just pin the edges together. And there you go. You've got yourself an itty bitty little diaper. Way easy, way fast. You don't have to know that much about sewing to do this. They just whip together super fast. Great to use your scraps. Megan at Teeny Tears suggests making sets of 2 so that you can put one on the baby and leave one with the family for a keepsake in the event that they choose to bury the baby with the diaper. We don't always have the luxury. We try to make sure that families have something to bury their baby in, but we don't always have the luxury of giving them 2 of everything so that they can bury the baby with one set and keep another set. So these are so simple and so easy that, man, make a gown and whip out 2 of these out of a little, piece of fabric, and just easy. So you shouldn't have any trouble getting 2 of these for every gown that you make. Or if you just want to make diapers and donate those, just make them in sets of 2 so that we can do that. I thought that was a really great idea. So anyway, again, check out our website, utahshare.org. Click on the patterns tab, and that will take you to all of our patterns and tutorials. If you have any questions, leave us a comment there and we'll try and help you.